The nation's capital hosts the Dodgers for a 3-game set against the East-leading Nationals. In a city rich with history, Coach George Lombard uses his free time to take his family to a place of special significance to the country and to him.
Definitely some memories sitting up here. I have a photo probably when I'm about 7 or 8, right in front of that monument. It's also cool to have my kids here sharing those same experiences. George, do you know where you are?
Lincoln Memorial.
Lincoln Memorial. Why are we here? We came here to play the Washington Nationals, but we get to do cool things like this, right? As a family, so you learn to get the kids out, and it makes you remember when you're a child and go through these times and with my mom and my brother and my sister and the importance of somebody like Dr. King and the freedom that he gave so many of us. It really wasn't that long ago, and we're still fighting for many of these rights of a lot of people.
The civil rights movement began in the 50s, but it was the nonviolent protest in the 60s that ultimately made a difference. From the sit-ins in Greensboro and Atlanta to the marches throughout the South, activists voiced opposition to segregation, and no one did it better than Dr. Martin Luther King.
When Martin Luther King gave a speech and everything, this is where it was.
Did you know that? There are thousands of people that lined up all the way around here for him to deliver his speech. And you know your grandmother, who you never got a chance to meet, got to march with Martin Luther King. Did you know that, Jacob? Posy Lombard was my mother. She was one of 7 kids from Weston, Massachusetts. She knew what she believed in. She wanted to stand for it. She was one of these strong, powerful women that went to the South fighting for a cause that she strongly believed in.
After the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed, after 3 men were murdered by the Klan, and after Malcolm X was assassinated, King led a 54-mile march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, to support black voter registration. Posy Lombard was among the thousands to arrive at the state capitol.
Doing the things she did when it was unheard of for a lot of people at the age of 22, going to Selma, going to Montgomery, going to Atlanta, and during these tough times and standing up for rights when she wasn't even an African American. So it's powerful.
Posy died in a car accident when her son was just 10 years old. And today, George's family and friends gather in his sister's D.C. area home to remember and share stories of this strong-willed woman whose legacy lives on through her art.
This has a purpose, an educational purpose, and that was what her work was about. Besides the art, it was to bring it to people's attention. So that passion you feel in the art, that's her art.
She had a vision. I think her time in the South, in Mississippi, when she first went down to work on the Civil Rights Movement, showed her a new way of people relating. It showed her how families were open and warm and loving and accepting, and that's what she wanted and saw for her family.
This message was awesome. To love, we must survive. To survive, we must fight. To fight, we must love.
It's a beautiful motto for Posy.
Yeah.
That's what she was like. Loving, fighting. I mean, it was all about all of the causes we were concerned about back then. And I don't know if George has talked about how much Posy put herself on the line in the Civil Rights Movement. When she was out there and she was arrested and beat up, and she kept going back, and she did what was right.
To think that she spent, 2 weeks at one time in jail, and some of the things they would do, why she's in prison, all this for a cause. I remember hearing that they would give there's a crowded jail cell from all the marchers, but give them all laxatives, and there's one toilet in the place, and so it was some hard times. To have these beliefs and stick to them, it's a testament to her beliefs. My brother's a defense attorney and was able to print out her FBI file and showed it to me, but like I said, it wasn't that long ago. It's 300 pages, and the language in it is just amazing to hear, when something happened. To hear the words, the way to describe, a black person, a white person, who they're hanging out with, they're being, phones were tapped, just from the day-to-day activities that my mom was doing was just being surveillanced and watched.
Their phone was tapped all the time. We went on to Alabama. We had called a friend of ours. And when we got to Alabama, there were 5 cars, the police were waiting on us. They were back there talking to me, and she got out of the car. And I tried to tell her to stay in the car because I didn't want to rock the boat. They luckily they didn't do anything. They just held us for a good while. And you was in the car, asleep.
I was in the middle of it.
You never knew because you slept the whole time.
She definitely did not live her life in fear.
No, she didn't.
No.
Posy Lombard is also remembered in a book written by friends and classmates for her children.
The book was put together by Paula Einaudi, and she was a classmate of my mom's at Smith. And she moved to Atlanta with my mom and remained close throughout our childhood. She reached out to a number of classmates and teachers at Smith just to put some thoughts and words on paper to give to my brother, my sister, and myself.
Cops in the KKK on horseback charged into our ranks and whipped a lot of heads. I lost track of Posy, but she was okay. We both survived.
You read them once, you read them twice, you go over and over. I almost teared up just reading the one, and this is coming from someone that I've never met. It is important for her children to know where they have come from and how much their mother was admired and the impact of her life had on those of us who knew her. She has every right to be extremely proud of you all. You are essentially living the consequences of her hard work, a society vastly improved, even if still imperfect. She just wanted everyone to be treated equally. Where would we be without people like my mother? She's missed so much of her life between my brother, sister, and I, but deep down I know she sees every minute of our life.